I gotta ask you, yeah, because there's a question I have to ask, and it's gonna lead up to a fight that I want to talk about. In your current opinion, right now, do you think that British fans have had enough good fights in the UK this year?
What do you mean? Have they had enough?
As a British fan,
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of our fights that we would deem, great British fights. It's gone, over to Saudi. So do you feel, as a British fan who lives in Britain, do you feel like we've had enough good fights this year?
We've had some good fights this year. I think when the fights go to Saudi, you're always going to feel hard done by. Like if we're used to seeing 10 good fights a year on British soil, and then one year we see 15 good fights, but there were 10 good fights in Saudi, we'll still feel hard done by. Even though we had more, we're always going to look at the Saudi fights and think, we feel hard done by.
The reason why I say that is because this year specifically, I don't think we've had one, maybe we have, Nick Ball. I think we've only had one world title fight in the UK. One world title fight that's in the UK.
Yeah.
No, two, because the Bois versus AJ as well.
I was going to say, that's what I thought, but...
Nick Ball, his last fight was in the UK as well. But that was... And now, this week, we've got Sonny Edwards versus Yafai, which isn't a world title fight. But
it's like an interim or intercontinental?
Yeah, interim belt. But more importantly, it's for the bad blood. The Yafai brothers versus the Edward brothers. Obviously, that history is back and forth for a minute. But for me, it's being marketed and pushed as one of the bigger fights this year. Yep. And if that is the case, that's depressing. Because
depressing?
Bro.
I think it's a good fight. It's not a world title fight.
No, but let me tell you why it's depressing.
Okay.
Because we all know Sonny Edwards. He's one of the most boring fighters on earth. He is one of the most boring fighters on earth.
I found him very entertaining when he got knocked out by a Bam Bam.
Was he entertaining or was Bam entertaining?
Bam was entertaining.
But my point is, you see, but it's very concerning when Sonny Edwards is headlining arguably one of the biggest shows of the year. Because I felt the same with Regis versus Catterall, but the difference with Regis and Catterall was Regis he was a banger. He was a knockout artist. Obviously, he was coming off the Devin Haney loss, but there was a little bit more I can buy into.
But they were both also well established. Regis probably slightly over the hill, but they were both established. They were both established world level fighters.
Facts.
Sonny Edwards has still yet to really establish himself as a world title guy.
Obviously.
And Yafai is
he's pretty much a prospect.
He's a prospect. So that's the difference. I mean, Catterall had won.
He should have won a world title.
Oh yeah, of course. Catterall's been in world title fights and should have won it. So you're seeing him as somebody that's mixing it at that level. Regis kind of similar. He's been at that level, won a world title, etc. So you're looking at two people. You're going to watch a world title level, even if there's no title involved.
Facts.
Two world title level boxers versus going to what if you're watching I don't know, Zhang versus Parker, you're going to watch two world level heavyweight versus going to watch a fucking
Toma versus
Chisora, something like that.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's really what this is. So that's why it's like it's not comparable.
First, no, for me, I'm going to watch the fight. I'm going to be entertained. I've been entertained by the back and forth and the talk. I think Sonny Edwards wins that fight pretty comfortably.
I think he wins that fight with reasonable difficulty.
You think so?
A little bit of difficulty.
I mean, obviously, since Sonny Edwards got knocked out by a Bam Bam, people are going to look at him slightly like he's food. But you got to bear in mind, he's still relatively good in terms of skill level.
He's very good.
Bam Bam is an elite fighter.
There's no shame in losing to Bam Bam.
Yeah, but you got to look at someone like Yafai. Yafai is looking at it like, bro, you got knocked out already. You know what I'm saying? So I can do the same thing. But
I don't think Yafai is actually that confident.
You don't think so?
No, he needs to up his confidence. He said already that he's not overconfident as a person. He kind of downplays himself quite a lot.
It's funny because his brother is.
That's look at you and your brother, look at me and my brother. There's always like excess confidence. You know what I mean? It's never 50-50 confidence.
Facts.
So that's just what it is. Like for Yafai, he downplays himself a lot and they've sparred a lot and been in the same gym. And Yafai openly said Sonny got the better of him in that sparring. He feels that he's coming to that stage, but he said it himself. Sonny's got the edge. Sonny, but we saw We've seen people that have lost to each other in the amateurs come and turn it over in the pros.
I mean,
it's a different situation.
One of the main examples that I use is Fowler versus Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah. I remember Fowler was like, bro, I used to batter you in sparring. And Scott Fitzgerald said, yeah, bro. Yeah. Every time, I didn't even make it to the Olympics because you beat me so bad. Yeah. But then when in the fight, when Scott Fitzgerald hit him for the first time, it was almost like, raw, how did I get here? Yeah. And it's almost like, if Yafai can get Sonny Edwards respect, he might think about flashbacks of that BAM fight. Yeah. I do think it's probably a bit too soon, but I feel like if Sonny Edwards... Here's a question, moving on past that. Do you think Sonny Edwards gets credit for winning this fight? Because Yafai will definitely get credit.
Yes.
But do you think Sonny will get credit for winning this fight?
Depending on how the fight goes, but yes. Yeah. I think he should get credit for winning.
Do you think he has to win in impressive fashion? If he goes out and bores it, do you think that...
Nah, I'm torn. Because it's a results business. Just go out and win the fight. We see a lot of fighters lose the fight going out to try to win the fight. But it's so difficult for the white Shakur Stevenson just to be entertaining. Like, his brother's ring walks are more entertaining than his fights.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't... his most entertaining fight was his loss.
100%.
So that's a problem. Do you know what I mean? That is a problem. So if you are going to have a statement win, going up against someone that you've got the better of physically, you should have the better of technically and mentally. You've beaten this guy up in sparring. This is a time for you to step it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It makes more sense for you to put on a flashy show. Not even a flashy show, but to look impressive. Do you mean like he never looks impressive?
Facts.
And we're trying to sell tickets here. Do you know what I mean?
Because I feel like Eddie will be telling Sonny, bruv, it's not even just getting a win, bro. It's not even just about getting a win.
100%.
He'll be telling him that. It's not just about getting a win, because here's the thing. I feel like this fight's going to flop in terms of... numbers in terms of selling.
When you say flop, though, what's the expectation for this fight? It's in Birmingham.
Yeah, no, maybe not flop, but it's not going to move the needle great. However, if he wins in good fashion, all of a sudden people are looking at Sonny Edwards in a completely different light. Because
I agree.
If you remodel yourself after the Bam Bam Rodriguez, it's very similar to when AJ lost to Usyk. He had the Helenius fight. He had the Franklin fight. And then he had the Wallin fight. And then he had the Ngannou fight. And it's like you build yourself up to go back in. Obviously, he ended up losing to Dubois. But where Sonny Edwards is right now, he's actually in a privileged position. You lost the fight and you're headlining again at a lower weight class as well. For you to even get a headline at a lower weight class, that's something. Yep. So you can't waste that. I could easily see Sonny Edwards winning this 12 rounds, maybe 10-2 or something like that.
It is like AJ going in against Dubois, because now you're going in against the prospect. You're the more established guy. You've been at that level. Granted, you lost to the guy at the division, because Bam Bam Rodriguez is arguably the guy at that division.
Facts.
Now you're going in against the prospect who's looking to grow. But Yafai can bang. Sonny's got no power. So I'm looking at it like, that's the biggest thing for me is, can Yafai get the respect? Yafai's not like a super power puncher, but he's got more power than Sonny.
Well, by far.
Do you know what I'm saying? So can you go, because you beat him in the amateurs, but we know amateurs is different to pros.
Facts.
And the main way that amateurs is different to pros is the follow through of the punches, the power differential.
Facts.
And sparring. That's where it could be a different situation now. Because in sparring, I'm trying to win some rounds. I'm trying to work on my jab, work on some stuff. Now, I can really hit you in the way I've always wanted to hit you.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And most of the time when he is sparring, you have to bear in mind, he's the sparring partner for Sonny.
Exactly. So he's in Sonny's gym. He said it. He said he was in Sonny's gym. Sonny had all these people around. It was just him and his brother.
I'm here to do a job for you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. You know, what I'm saying this is my work for you. So that's what people don't understand. Like, if I employ you as a sparring partner, you're here to do work for me.
If I knock you out, I'm getting sacked.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
That's literally the case. But your prediction?
No, my prediction's got to be Sonny on points. But
Sonny on points.
It's got to be Sonny on points. But I like Yafai. I really like him. I like him more than his brother. I like them both, but I like him more than his brother. Bless you. So I would like to. If Yafai wins, I will be celebrating. I would like to see Yafai win.
Well, we'll be doing the live for it. So if he does win,
I'll be celebrating. I'll back Yafai. I like him a lot.
I think it's going to be a boring fight, but.
I'm hoping it's not going to be a boring fight.
The stream won't be boring.
We can't have two boxers that are as technically good as these two and have a boring fight.
And talk so much shit as well, bro. Sonny Edwards talks so much shit,
Sonny,
bro.
do you know who Sonny is going to end up having a career like by the end? Paulie Malignaggi. I'm calling it now.
Potentially. You might actually be right.
He's going to be Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah, actually, that's very true.
And he's going to go on to be a great analyst.
Trust me.
He's going to go on to be a very good analyst. But he just
yeah, you might be right, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you actually, that's a very good comparison.
Talented fighter, doesn't quite do it at that level. Good technical analyst, good talker.
As much as, obviously, I know you use the Shakur Stevenson, and I agree with it. But the only reason why I'd slightly detach is because I actually think Shakur will win fights at elite level. I don't think Sonny will. But Paulie always lost when he stepped up to the highest level. So Paulie is a great comparison.
Yeah.
And Paulie couldn't crack an egg.
They're all scared of getting hit, though. That's the problem. Shakur's scared of getting hit as well.
Trust me.
So,
Trust
do you know what I
me.
mean? But yeah, but I think Paulie Malignaggi, Sonny Edwards, I think that's a good comparison.
Because he talks so much shit, bro.
Yeah.
Sonny talks the most
Sonny's
shit.
a great talker, and he's a good analyst as well. I actually do quite like him as an analyst, but he knows his stuff. But he just can't get there.
Yeah, facts.
And I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if it's a stage fright thing, clams up.
Some fighters just don't have the punch power.
And don't have the punch. Yeah, just no power.
Like, mechanically, he just doesn't have the punch power. But yeah, man.
What's your prediction?
Sonny on points. I actually think Sonny's going to win like 10-2 on points.
10-2.
10-2 on points, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
If I might get to him early with some shots, because I do think Sonny's going to know he has to make it exciting. So early, he might try to exchange a bit. But then the moment he realises that I can't stop this dude, he's just going to get to his boxing.
He's also, because Sonny's got a little insecurity about him, similar to what we say about Devin Haney, where he's a boxer that constantly tries to fight. He gets into fights, and he should be good enough.
Nah,
he should
only
be good
early. But after like round 6-7, bro, this guy then just starts to
because he starts to run afterwards. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because he can't fight. But if he just boxed, we don't know what Sonny Edwards could be if he just boxed. Round 1 to round 6, just box. And actually, telling him that he needs to go out and put on a show might be detrimental to him because he's trying to put on a show too much. Just box. And then we'll get to the fighting later.
I mean, against Bam Bam Rodriguez, he tried to box from round 1 and he just didn't.
Yeah, that's different though. That's Bam Bam, innit? Bam Bam's beating him all the time. There's no strategy.
There's no strategy.
Yeah, he's going to beat him all the time.
There's no strategy that's going to win you the fight.
100%.
But yeah.